Hello and welcome to another movie review segment. We have not done any movie reviews in quite a while, and I decided it was time to bring it back. Today's film...
What the heck are you doing? No, I told you. We're not doing that for movie reviews.
What do you mean you don't want to do this?
What's wrong with this? It's different. It's new. How else are they gonna know that we're doing something different? Get out of here. I'm taking over. Let you take over. Man, you're no fun. Fine. I'll leave. So, it is no secret that I was not really happy with the way my movie review segment was going. I was feeling really burnt out with ideas, and I was just more concerned about getting a video out like every other week rather than whether or not the video was any good. It really much became I have a schedule to keep, I have to keep it up, even though a lot of the movie reviews were more like recommendations, like I've said in the past. So after rewatching all these episodes, and especially in the first part, it's very clear, like right away, the things that were not quite right. Nothing I did or said was ever planned. It was like ahead of time. It was like I'd pick a movie off my shelf, and then I would just talk about it for as long as I could. If I got 15 minutes of footage, I felt like I had succeeded, even if only 2 of those minutes were actually usable footage. A lot of these videos have me saying the word or just like trying to gather my thoughts, and it's very much a free-form idea, and I noticed I also didn't look at the camera too often. My eyes were constantly either looking down as I was trying to formulate my thoughts as if I was reading off a page, but I wasn't. I was trying to actually just create the thoughts. Or I'd be like looking off into space in some other direction, as if that's where the words were. I'm trying to get them. Come to me, words. And it doesn't work out. A lot of the video is also just me trying to formulate any kind of coherent way to express my thoughts, and that required a lot of pausing, where I was literally just trying to gather anything that I was trying to bring up. It's like I had this idea for a topic, and I knew what I wanted to say about it, but it's like translating that from a thought to a video can be quite hard to do. In this first episode here, I noticed, going back and rewatching it, there are a lot of cutaways and still images and stuff that I had pulled in. I just stopped doing that, apparently, after like the first episode. But for the most part, it was just me talking for 2 to 4 minutes about whatever I was trying to talk about, unless I was really angry and ranting about something. Only other time I used a kind of cutaway to like something that wasn't just me sitting in my room was in episode 19, where there was a shot of how much snow we had gotten that day. Episode 2 of Critical Critiques was one of the first times I was talking about just one film rather than an actual like movie idea or concept or like arcing theme that I wanted to talk about that week. I had just seen Batman vs. Superman, and I wanted to talk about it. And I kind of wanted to get on the forefront of that. Going back and watching the review again, I realized that I didn't really talk about Batman v Superman all that much. A lot of the video was me ranting and raving about how much I was disappointed with Man of Steel and how they didn't develop Superman's character at all. Yeah, and I feel like this video was mostly just a complaint that in this film, Batman vs. Superman, they continued the trend of not developing Superman's character, and that I was mostly concerned about the new characters they were introducing, which ironically they ended up giving a better backstory with fewer lines and just imagery. I would continue to go on and rant all about Man of Steel in episode 7. Jumping ahead here, we're now at episode 8, which was all about the importance of good writing, which was very ironic for me to talk about, seeing as how I didn't write any of my episodes out, and you can see the results for yourself. And it's very ironic to me now that I'm going back and rewatching all my videos from over a year ago, and it is very obvious that I didn't write anything down, and it gives the impression of I don't really know or care what I'm talking about, even if that's not the case. Is Marvel done? No. You've loved all of their movies that have come out so far, and you are so excited for the movies that will come out. Stop talking about yourself, you pretentious little... Episode 12 is really where my series got completely off the rails. I was completely out of ideas of movie topics I wanted to talk about, and my brother suggested that I talk about the movies in my collection and why I like them, and why it would be a good idea to... Like why I bought them. It's like, what about them is special to me? And that was a good idea. And instead of watching the movies and actually talking about them, I would just pick one off the shelf and be like looking at the box art being like, yes, this is a good film. It must have been. I bought it and put it on my shelf. It was very obvious that I had no idea what I was talking about, and even though I thought I knew these movies like the back of my hand, apparently I've never looked at the back of my hand in 15 years, because my hand's very different. It wasn't until I was sitting in front of the camera trying to think about things that I liked about it that it's like, I don't know what I like about this movie. Why do I even have it? Episode 19. It's obvious to me that I haven't seen this movie in like 5 years. 7 years? Did I ever watch this movie? I mean, your guess is as good as mine at this point. First impressions of episode 22 is lots of jump cuts. So many jump cuts, like within the first minute. That means I had no idea what to talk about this film. The other thing that I noticed, just be listening to myself talk about this and realizing I hadn't seen this movie in a while and didn't know what else to talk about, most of the argument I was making in this review was from movie reviews that I had watched recently. So it was like I couldn't remember what exactly was happening in the film to judge it for myself. So I was thinking, man, what did Nostalgia Critics say about this? What did CinemaSins say about this? Oh, that's a great idea. I'll just copy what they said. Here we are at episode 25. While this episode was more focused than some of the other reviews that had come out prior to this, it was still so obvious that I hadn't seen this movie at all, recently. And I'm all over the map, I'm unfocused, I'm just not looking at the camera still, I'm trying to pull these words basically out of my butt. And it's just come on, think of something to say about this film so I can wrap up the show and leave it be. That's basically where I was at that, mind state. It was very just, I'm, burnt out. I'm done with this series. It's I didn't see it going anywhere, and it was very obvious that I had stopped putting in any effort into this series. And the series, as a whole, suffered greatly from my lack of interest in it. Another big inconsistency across the entire series is the lighting. As I was watching these videos again, the lighting across the different it's you can tell when I was filming during the day, when I filmed during the winter, when I filmed during the summer, when I filmed like with like only artificial light, when I film with sunlight pouring in. It's like you could tell the difference in like, you know, what I was filming because the lighting is just so inconsistent. I feel like this 3-second clip of me just like really sums up my feelings for the entire like season, even though this was taken from the middle. He's just so defeated and like, I have to talk about this, don't I? In the end, I'm not 100% disappointed with this. I actually was surprised when I was going through and watching these after a couple of episodes of just getting nothing but, like, you know, unfocused crap. Episode 4, I was fairly happy with how that one came out, except for the lighting. The lighting was the only part of that video I didn't like, but it's like I talked about a subject that I knew, and I talked about the topic that I wanted to discuss, and I got my points across fairly clearly, I think. I was also happy with episode 5, how that came out. And in terms of videos, I didn't really have anything wrong with that. And episode 7, I was happy with, except for the audio. So, if you can forgive the audio of episode 7 and the lighting of episode 4, you have 3 good episodes out of 25. Who's looking for 100%, eh? Overall, I am not 100% disappointed with this, as I thought when I went into this. However, it is very clear that this series, before I ever posted it, should have gone through some workshopping to be refined and made me realize I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I should actually take the time to watch these movies before I talk about them. But I didn't, and they're up there. So, they're not coming down anytime soon. They're a part of me. They're a part of this channel. If you ever want to watch them in all of their cringy glory, they're up there in their entirety. There's a playlist that you can find on my channel. I highly recommend just watching the good ones. But if you want to watch all of them just so you can laugh at me, I'm right there with you. It was pretty hilarious. Thank you all for watching the video. If you liked it, leave a like to let me know. And if not, that's alright. And I'll see you in the next review. I will be re-reviewing the 1986 Transformers movie. So I will see you guys next time, and take care. Wait, hello?
Hey, what's going on? It's not too late to do my idea.
No, we're not doing that. Stop suggesting it.
Oh, come on. It's a great idea. It's different, it's new. You get to wear a mask. What's not to like?